Hi everybody, we're at week 4, which means we're almost done. So I chose the movie The Hunger Games 2, so Catching Fire, and I'll probably also sort of refer to the last two parts just for like extra content so I can make sure I'm covering everything. But the first question, identify the different relational, organizational, and community systems that impacted the person's life and related struggle with PTSD. So I'm referring to Katniss just because she is the main character and definitely has some of the symptoms. So relational, um, her mom needs support herself and probably is suffering from depression from the loss of Katniss's father, and so Katniss is having to be the parent. And I sort of counted Gale as family as well, but he's not helping her symptoms and her stress after coming back from the first games because he's pushing the relationship aspect. If anyone's seen the movie, hopefully you know what I'm talking about. He's trying to push the how do you feel about me, and it's just adding more stress, especially when President Snow comes into play and is like, you're in a relationship with this person when you're supposed to be with this person. So organizational, the entire government is a mess and is the source of the stress in the first place because they created the games. And so that's just in and of itself the key, I think the key player, the key cause because they created the games. Um, there, at least in the movies and books, there's no talk of any services or anything like that. So there's no place to really refer her to. Community wise, the community itself of District 12 is very cold. I mean, they're coal miners, but it's very, you're in it for yourself. You watch out for yourself. Haymitch, I counted him as community. He's very much a realist and doesn't support healthy coping. He has a drinking problem. He uses substances to try and get himself through his own trauma. So, PETA is there, but he's suffering too, and I don't think she really knows how to accept what he's trying to do to help her. I'll try and talk fast. I'm sorry. Provide a diagnosis with ICD codes and rationale for diagnosis. So, PTSD, obviously. Um, and then the code F43.10. Um, so, I mean, it's very obvious she has trouble sleeping. She has the flashbacks. She's very on edge, angry, quick to jump. Um, all of the basic, like the typical PTSD symptoms. I also think this is probably differential diagnosis. Also, think that acute stress disorder is in there as well. So F43.0, and I'm assuming adjustment disorder, acute. So F43.2, unspecified, just because it is a lot to adjust from literally fighting for your life and going back to everything, and everything's supposed to be fine. But then all these players come into play, President Snow being the main one, of saying, I'm literally going to kill your family if you don't do what I need you to do. Um, Differential diagnosis, also major depressive disorder. Um, she wasn't exactly very happy in the first book, movie, whatever. But that's just sort of my idea, maybe. Also suffering with major depressive disorder. Coping strategies. She doesn't really have time to cope, and I don't think she really tries to cope at all. If anything, the hunting and spending time in the woods is her coping. She is also in this one instantly thrown back into the games with the quarter quell. So she's back in not exactly the same environment, but very similar environment. She's fighting for her life. Um, she, this isn't really coping, but she just adapts to what her reality is. She survives, and that's pretty much it. That's all she's been doing. She's not been living a life to enjoy. Um, 5, identify challenges you might encounter developing, managing, and maintaining the professional relationship with the client and their family. I definitely think secrets and trust are the two biggest things that would be um, a struggle with Katniss as a client. Um, she doesn't trust anybody. I mean, she's not really had anybody to trust. People have stabbed her in the back, died, everything that could possibly happen to this poor girl. Most of her family ends up dying or betraying her, like Gail literally kind of accidentally kills children. So, trust would be really, really hard. It would take a lot of building. And I do not think, from what you see in Mockingjay, parts 1 and 2, she's not very compliant with whatever orders she's given by a doctor. So I don't know how compliant she would be with treatment planning. It would definitely be lengthy to work on. So, um, yeah, that is it. Sorry, I was looking down at my notes. But I hope everybody has a great week. And I'm so sorry for going a minute over. I tried to talk really fast. But I will see you later. Bye.